everyone, this is the TI84 guy. I'm back. I have a video that I wanted to do. Hopefully I can get through this kind of quickly. This video is going to be on it's a question that was taken from the March 2020 SAT from the calculator section. March 2020 was the last SAT that was administered before the coronavirus shut everything down. And I was looking at this question, and what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you guys, I think, an important calculator hack that will help you easily solve this question. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to solve this using your calculator, and then I'm going to show you how to do this algebraically. So, and doing it algebraically is going to require that you know the quadratic formula, and particularly you're going to have to focus on the discriminant of the quadratic formula. So let me start by going through this. All right, so let me read the problem, and then I'm going to go through it. So it says the quadratic x squared plus bx plus 16 equals 0. In the quadratic equation shown above, b is a constant. For what values of b does the equation have only one solution? Okay, so now before I go through and show you how to use your calculator, I'm going to do a quick review on what it means to have only one solution for a quadratic. So what you see here, or what you should see, is that there are 4 quadratics here. And this one, the red one, has one solution. And the way that I know that is because it is just tangent to the x-axis. That's how you know it has one solution. It is just tangent to the x-axis. This upside down parabola also has one solution, one real solution. Let me say that, one real solution, because it's also tangent to the x-axis. The blue parabola, on the other hand, has 2 real solutions because it crosses the x-axis in 2 places. That's how we know there's 2 real solutions. This green one has 0 real solutions because it does not intersect or touch the x-axis. That's all you need to know. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to find the value of b that's going to give us something that looks like the red, right? So that's what we're going to try to find. So let's go back to the actual question. So now, all we're going to do is we're just going to take these answers and we're going to plug them in for b and see which one creates the graph that just is tangent to the x-axis. But instead of doing them separately, we're going to do it all in one step. So here's how you would do it. I'm going to write this first. It's going to be x squared plus, and in place of the b, we're going to use a bracket. And what that bracket is saying is we're going to plug in each one of these values separately, and then we're going to graph each one of them. So what we're going to do is we're just going to use the brackets, and I'm going to show you that on my calculator here in a second. And it's going to take each one of these inputs, and it's going to plug it in for b, and then it's going to graph it, and it's going to do all of that one at a time. So let's see how that happens, and then we're going to be able to determine which one creates a tangent, a parabola that's tangent to the x-axis. So we're just going to go to the y equals screen, and we're going to key it in. It's going to be x squared, going to be plus. And this is how you get those brackets. You press the second key and then the parentheses. So second parentheses gives you brackets, and then we're just going to enter the constants, a -4. You have to put a comma in between each choice, and then we're going to put a -8, comma, and then we're going to put a +4, comma, and then a +8, and then we close the brackets. And then we're just going to put the x here, and then we're going to put plus 16. Now, all we're going to do is graph it and see which one creates parabolas that are tangent to. So if we graph this, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can see that this one and this one are just tangent to the x-axis. So those would be our choices. Now, I'm gonna graph this again so that you can see which one went first, when one came second, so forth, so we can know exactly. So I'm gonna change this and make this a -10. All I have to do is change one parameter and then it'll graph again. So now I'm graphing, okay, that's the first one. That's the -4, okay? That's the second one, that's the -8. That's the third one, and that's the fourth one. So the second and the fourth are the ones that will give you parabolas that are just tangent to. So if we go back to my iPad, the answer choices would be, let me change the colors, would be this one and this one. So this would be my answer right here. D is the answer, okay? So this to me is a nice little calculator hack that will show you graphically how to solve this question. If you know what one solution means. If you know that, all you have to do is graph it and there's your answer. There's no algebra involved in this, okay? Now, I am going to show you how you can do this algebraically, okay? And it's gonna involve using the quadratic formula. In particular, it's going to involve using the discriminant of the quadratic formula. So it's going to be the part under the square root, b squared minus 4ac, all right? And remember, the standard form of the quadratic is going to be ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, okay? So now we're going to take the b and we're going to use that. I'm going to make this a little thicker. So this is going to be b squared minus 4 times, the leading coefficient for this is 1, so it's 4 times 1. The c term is 16, so that's going to be 16, and we're going to set that equal to 0 because that's what it means for the quadratic to have only one solution, when it's equal to 0. Okay, so now all we have to do is solve this. So this is going to be b squared minus 64 equals 0. So b squared equals, add 64 to both sides, and then we're going to take the square root, and we're going to go b equals plus or minus 8, which is what we saw, which is what we expected. That's how you would do it algebraically. But that means you have to really understand the quadratic formula. You have to understand the discriminant. That's good information to know, but a lot of students struggle with the quadratic formula. And a lot of students are not really comfortable with the discriminant. I say, look, if you have your graphing calculator, let's use that, because that's also an easy way to come up with the value of b, and it doesn't require any algebra whatsoever, all right? So if this video was helpful, please like this video. I'm going to be putting out a lot of videos and content this summer. I'm also going to put out, I think I'm going to put out some new programs as well. So if you want to be notified when I create some new programs, make sure you subscribe and click on your notification bell. All right. I will see you later and stay safe.